And we're back with another episode of the AC Milan Zone podcast. Victorious yet again, dominating yet again. It's just a Coppa Italia game. Lecce's been dreadful. They have a bad squad, early red card. But let us celebrate when we can celebrate. We used to dream of times like these last year, so now we get to celebrate. Ozzy, welcome back. How much did
Thank
you
you,
enjoy
Stefano.
that Coppa Italia win?
Yeah, like you say, it's a Lecce in last place of the Serie A. They have a bad squad, but I feel like these are the kind of games that last season probably wouldn't have been as convincing, and we just dispatched them like we dispatched Udinese, and it's great to be back, winning games in the fashion that we're doing. Clean sheets, which is something we've not really experienced for a very long time as Milan fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just you're only as good as your last game, and you have to play your schedule. And the story would have been different if we struggled. So why not celebrate a victory when we did it in the fashion that we did?
Absolutely. Yeah, as you said, I think you hit all the right notes. Another clean sheet without too much to bother. Obviously, after the red card, that became a lot easier. Did you think that was a red card?
Are we go straight into that? Yeah, that was because this is what I was saving for the pod. I thought it was pretty harsh. If you look at it, sort of in slow mo, and you start counting players, and technically, Nkunku's Siebert, right,
Mm-hmm.
is the last man. The Lecce defender is the last man. Technically, I don't think it would have been as. It's not sort of when you have those counter-attacking situations and it's in the middle of the half and somebody just clips a striker and he really is last man and he would have been through on goal. It didn't really feel like that kind of situation. I thought it was a more of a stonewall penalty a few minutes beforehand,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
um, rather than this
agreed.
being a red card. So I'll put my hands up and try to be unbiased. I thought it was pretty harsh of a red card, to be honest.
Agreed about the earlier
What do you think?
penalty. Um, it's always tough in football because you see the foul and it is a foul, but it's light, and then you're like, okay, last man, so it's gotta be thrown off. But it does leave that sort of bad taste in your mouth of like, oh, that's light contact to have such big an
Hmm.
impact on the game. Um, I see where you're coming from. I do agree. I do think though. Yeah, I mean, if he goes through, Nkuku is through 1-on-1 with a goalie. Um, so it's tough not to give a red. How much do you think it impacted the game?
Oh, it definitely impacted the game. I mean, we know that Lecce is last place, and we played them in the league and played all right against them, got the win. But end of the day, you could see. I mean, just look at the stats themselves. Now, I don't think it would have changed as much. I don't think Lecce would have had a lot more chances, but we ran away with the shots on target. We hit the post, was it post and crossbar 3 or 4 times, and it was really just one-sided game. I think it would have. I think it amplified the one-sided game with that red card. It certainly did affect Lecce massively uh, f- because the way they tried to play well. They tried to play football rather than being type of Stoke City, anyways, and that sort of bites them when they get man sent off that extremely early on. When we already started to have chances like the penalty shot that we had a few minutes before that.
No, I agreed. I do think to catch up quickly on the point because I wanted to bring it up and I'm scared I'm gonna forget. We've been hitting so much woodwork post crossbars.
We love to work the wood.
Yeah, I know the last two games, both won 3-0. But if you count the woodworker, could have easily have had three extra goals. Let's hope
Yeah.
that the bad karma in terms of hitting the post is being saved up and comes to fruition in the next few games because we will need it.
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
do you remember Milan being so comfortable even in wins in maybe
In the
since the
past.
Scudetto run? I know we said this last podcast too, but maybe since the Scudetto run with Pioli, where you went into the games and you felt good, and some of them were tough, but some of them were okay. We're convincingly beating teams
Yeah.
as much as we did now. And again, the competition has been what the competition is. We haven't faced teams that are too tough.
Yeah.
But Bologna is no scrub. Udinese is no scrub. Do you remember just us beating teams so
Yeah,
comfortable?
I think the only time being that comfortable was around, I can't remember exactly what season. Was it our Scudetto winning season, or was it this COVID season where we beat Lazio 3-0, and then we went on to beat Torino 7-0 or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it was around that time. That was the last time I felt, we're gonna win the next game comfortably.
yeah,
That's generally, so it's been what, like 4 or 5 years almost now.
yeah.
Certainly not really. I mean, Scudetto season, yes, but they would, I now it is Napoli that we're playing next, but I don't think I've felt this comfortable going into a big game in a very long time.
No, very much agreed. Another factor of the game, as we've put up the some of the grades, was the rotation. Of course, midweek game, we did
Hmm.
see some big changes, and I think this is the most interesting part for me. Obviously, we get the big win, we look solid, but seeing an answer from some substitute, we had a we think Allegri has found his 11, especially with now coming back. The big question mark was how can the five players off the bench have an impact? Who's it gonna be? Jimenez finds, I count him as a sub because I assume once that was healthy he will take his spot. Found the goal. You know, had
Finally,
had probably a good chance that he missed earlier on. The goal was, not a great hit. I think if he's a little bit further, that ball may go somewhere else. But it was just more about getting the bad juju out of his system and just in time because I think he will start against Napoli. And
yeah.
he's been doing everything right in terms of movement and work ethic. It's just been the finishing, and hopefully with a little bit more confidence, it will pick up. And Kuku also had a
Hmm.
pretty interesting miss off the post, but then scored a beauty of a goal, and he showed up. And I want to get your opinion on
That
him in
was
a
that was
second.
that was a really bad miss, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like, at first I thought, he's kind of coming from the side ish, and he's jumping up, but then the replays, I'm just like from different angles. I'm like, how on earth have you just put that onto the post? I mean, I guess it's better than missing the goal completely, but yeah, that was. Luckily, Lecce already had a red card, I think, and we were dominating anyway, so didn't matter in the end.
yeah. I did like though off the miss how much he hustled and kept the ball in and didn't get called for a foul, but he should have. That was a tiny side note, but I did like that. I thought
Hmm.
Bartesaghi, which was a big question mark for us, played
Yeah,
wonderfully. I think he's ready. He's ready to play when Estupinian can't. Wonderful crossing. This formation might suit him the best, and he can definitely
yeah.
start against most Serie A teams. That's huge for us because the wingback position is so light, and he can sort of play on both sides.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was a perfect game for him to step on in, right? I think we are
mhm.
talking when we are on our last podcast when we are talking about our sort of predicting what starting 11 we'd want either Stupinian or Selemakers playing, but not either both, or either both being on the bench or both playing at the same time. This was a perfect game for Bartasag. He looked really comfortable because he's so young. He hasn't also bulked up necessarily, so he can't really play in the back three, but he's also not like a proper fullback, but he can play that left wing back role quite well. And he got confidence on the ball. Lecce had a man less already. He got that assist early on, and yeah, ever since that stupid red card, what was it? Was it last season or 2 seasons ago? I can't remember, when he came on and got a red card within 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Can't remember against who it was, but since then, I mean, he hasn't featured a lot. This was a perfect display. Maybe it's something in Allegri's coaching, giving confidence to youngsters and Italians specifically. But I thought he played very, very well, and it's good because Estupinian will maybe need to be rotated depending on how far we go into the Coppa Italia.
No, agreed. And now Estupiñán has been doing great, so it's maybe less of
Mm,
a problem. He's been getting better and better, but at a bit of a rough start, and so it's just good to have that. I think Kame came on, but later on when the game was sort of already dead, so he looked good and okay and got involved, but tough to say based on the level of the game at that point.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that Richie got booked so early because he was taken out as a precaution, which makes total sense. But I thought for that half he looked good as the
Hmm.
regista instead of Modric. And the Inter again tough to say because Lecce really created
Yeah,
very
one
little.
shot on target.
Um, but looked in control. I want to get your opinion again on Nkunku and the beautiful goal that he scored. But I do also want to say the red card did impact a lot. But the first 50 minutes, we could have had honestly 3 goals. So the
Yeah,
domination 11 versus 11 was very much there. Um,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
Early on, especially in a Cup Italia game like this, it's that we don't we're not scared to attack. We still play our football, and yeah, follow the game through, regardless whether it was going to be 11v11 or 11v10. I wanted to ask you about how you feel about these type of substitutions and the rotation, because I know, having known you a while, a very long time, and also not having known you during the Pioli era, we both complained a lot about the substitution and the strange rotation, even last season. I thought it was a very well executed plan in terms of who we subbed, when we subbed them, either on
yeah,
or off.
yeah. Honestly, I think he nailed it. I think, the temptation is to say, okay, take everyone out, and obviously that doesn't work. So I think he started with a good mix of people out. I think he probably would have liked to keep Richie in, but on our, it made sense. We at halftime it was only 1-0, and
Yeah,
being 10 against 11 was huge. So it's not that he doesn't trust the player, but all it takes is one little mistake, which by the way happened to us a lot if you think about red cards in the last couple seasons.
yeah,
So I understand it, but the rest was sort of perfect. Salamakers played 60 minutes. That's around what I would have given him. In Kuku, came out once he was tired and out of cramps. That makes sense. Jimenez also came out to
got
get
his
some
goal.
rest,
Yeah.
which scored his goal and made some sense. Pulisic got some minutes after that. Played some youngsters against the striker. The
Oh
one
yeah,
in
the only thing is that unfortunate yellow card for Ricci, because I think the plan would have been to take Rabiot off
Absolutely, yeah,
rather
that's what I
than
was gonna
Ricci,
say.
because
Yeah,
he played the full 90. Obviously, when you're playing 11v10, and there wasn't a lot of backwards and forwards for Rabiot, but it's still it's still making him more tired against Napoli on Sunday. But
yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
would
the
say that
only
Rabiot is
shame.
is 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 right now definitely top three most important or crucial players, not necessarily best, but
Yeah,
in terms of our system. And he's projected for me to play 90 minutes in and out. So I think you're 100% right. That's who I would have liked to see some rest, also because he probably covers the most amount of distance over a game for him. But I do think that, yeah, that spot was taken up by Richie coming out, and then we had no really other midfielders to bring in unless you wanted Modric, who probably need the rest more. So for the rest, yeah, I mean, Gabia got some rest, which was good. Pavlovic got spared 10 minutes. Maybe Tomori also could have gotten some rest, but I think he nailed it. It was the right combo of starters so that the subs could give a good
yeah,
performance, because maybe Bartesaghi doesn't play so well if he's surrounded by all subs. Um, yeah, I mean, even throughout the games, there are a few times that maybe I would have done something different, but the timing and everything, Allegri, again, it's all easy to say once you win, but so far I think he's nailed it. And yeah, I mean, I think if you look at our bench, there's maybe a center back missing that we could look at in January,
yeah,
if
maybe.
because you have De Winter, who's very strong coming up. But behind that, if someone gets injured, suspended, something like that, and you play with a three at the back, you're a little bit thin. But the rest you feel pretty confident about. You look at the bench in an ideal start 11, and you have, Richie, Loftus Cheek started this game, but in ideal start 11, he's probably off the bench. And that's even before Jashari comes back. Bartesaghi looks strong. I think Kame looks usable. Jimenez and Nkuku look very, very good if that's your backup line.
Yeah,
What did you think in Nkuku? Beautiful goal. He had the balloon celebration, which created a nice little
yeah.
photo op. His signature celebration for his kid. Um, what do you think of him in general? Do you think he could gun for that starting spot against Napoli? Again, Leao will be in the squad, but I think highly unlikely that he will start.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think he had a good game. Luckily he scored. He scored a very beautiful goal, like you said, and to make up for that quite incredible miss, I think it'll be Sant Jimenez and Nkunku to start. I'm not sure whether Allegri will want to play Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that position with Santi Jimenez, just purely because Nkunku has had a good impact when he's come on in the Serie A, and now in the Coppa Italia he had a very good starting debut game. So I I would be happy with Santi Jimenez and Nkunku starting for Milan, and then Leao probably coming off the bench.
No, that makes sense. I agree. I do think um, I do think it will be Jimenez and Pulisic. Um,
Oh, sorry. Yes, of
yeah,
course,
yeah, no, that's
Pulisic.
that's what you meant. I
Sorry.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, no, I got that's how what I thought you said too. Um, and I think it's the right choice. Um, but again, even just for the Napoli game, if off the bench you have Rafael and Kuku, that's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of little aces up the sleeve of
Yeah.
Allegri. It allows Loftus Cheek to come off the bench and can play, one of the three in midfield, but also could be the second striker, so to speak. If we want a more solid or defensive lineup in case we go up. So it'll be fascinating to see. Um, and before we move on from the Lecce game, just one more word again for Pulisic. I mean, he just
Yeah.
he's inevitable. Beautiful run off the cross. Even the crossing all night was incredible from all sides. Salemakers being Salemakers, perhaps man of the match for me. So good. Bartesaghi was so good, but I mean, we saw Fofana gave some great crosses. I think Kame did well as well. And we just always seem to have good position in the box and great runners. Rabiot does that very well. Pulisic did it so well with a great finish. But I'm just so impressed by Pulisic. Such a hard
Yeah.
worker, and yeah, he's just inevitable.
Value for money, honestly, probably one of Milan's best signings ever. On
Yeah,
genuinely, I mean, I know he hasn't won anything with Milan yet, apart from the Super Coppa, but I'm not sure why exactly Chelsea let him go for so little.
yeah. I
Because
mean, I guess
I
question
mean, I
about
know the
fitness and
Premier
stuff like
League.
that, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, buying Premier League rejects it can
it does
backfire for
pay off
sure, and it's a
sometimes. Yeah,
bet. But I mean, it yeah. I mean, he's just you 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 just know that he's gonna get you those 15 goals, 10 assists minimum a season
yeah,
now, and yeah, he's just such a great locker room experience, locker room presence. Always speaks. Never speaks out of line. Speaks Italian somehow, which is I think impressive for an American. Um, yeah, I just wanted to say a word about him because he's just so impressive. I said it was the last thing, but one more thing. Pavlovic, is he our free kick specialist? Is he gonna take all free kicks?
I
Where did
was
that
so
come
shocked
from?
because when I saw him line up for it, I'm like, what kind of what kind of terrible Allegri setup is
I
this?
know,
Like,
and I
what
was like,
is
there
he
was
gonna
him
make
and
like some sort of
Tomori, and I was like, what's going on?
yeah? Is he gonna be making like a sprint? Like he's gonna fake it, jump
Ooh,
over the ball,
mm-hmm.
somehow fall over the ball probably.
Yeah,
Then all of a sudden, a little deft,
yeah,
and I mean it was
nice little
pretty. It was
lift.
I wouldn't say in the middle of the goal. It wasn't in the exact corner, but
Yeah,
the goalkeeper had to make a good save, right? Because I couldn't really tell whether he tipped it onto the bar or whatever
yeah, it
might
looked
have
like it.
happened.
Yeah,
But I was gobsmacked.
yeah, I was not in a million years. Like that has to be like the biggest foot for such a delicate free kick. But I'm
Yeah,
curious to see if he ever takes any more, or maybe it's just a Copa special. Either way, it made me laugh. It made me laugh out loud when I saw it. But yeah, good win. We move on in the Copa,
absolutely.
which is good, of course. We only have two competitions, so would be nice to compete for the Scudetto. Of course, we'll probably be our and make top four. That's our priority. But sneak a little Copa run would be nice. It's been a long time since we won the Coppa Italia. But now our head must turn to the big game. I think this
Yeah.
game will truly tell us if we are truly a Scudetto contender or if we just had a nice little run of form, met some weak
Hmm.
teams, dispatched them. Um, yeah, what do you think? I mean, this starts a very, very tough stretch of game for us,
Yeah,
which I
I saw
wanted
it the other day.
to talk to you about. We have obviously Napoli, then Juve, Then there's the break. Then we play Fiorentina, then Pisa, then Atalanta, Roma, Parma, Inter, Lazio, and then Lazio again for Coppa Italia. So this starts the month. I guess the Napoli game is still September, but we'll call it October, November.
Yeah,
Only Parma is decent, and obviously Pisa home. The rest are all games, are all big games.
yeah.
So this needs to give us positive signs, even if it's not necessarily a win. Um, Tell me what you think about the game, but also if I told you we walk out of there with 1-1, would you sign on it? Would you take it before we play
I
the
think,
game?
yeah, I would take a 1-all. I think I didn't watch the game, but I was reading up on how Napoli fared against Pisa, and no disrespect to Pisa, but Napoli should be dispatching them. It seemed a lot harder than it should have been. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look at the lineups whether I mean, they're playing their best team, and apparently Buongiorno won't be featuring for Napoli, or at least not starting, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
For
correct. He'll be out
Yeah,
for probably a month or two.
yeah, exactly. So that's hopeful for us. Hoylund, while he scored, was it in his second game or the second game he featured?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too scared necessarily about him. It's more Scott McTominay I'm scared about. Which 3 years
Agreed.
ago, if somebody told me you'd be scared of Scott McTominay,
Yeah.
uh, I would ask them to
I mean, three
check
years ago, if
themselves
you would
into
have
a
said,
hospital.
or a couple of years ago, if you would have said, are you more scared of Hoyland or McTominay? You're like, oh, we're playing United in the Champions League, and now neither of us in the
Oh,
Champions League. So
yeah, we're
times
playing
change
the
very
Aldi Cup.
fast.
Yeah, yeah. So if you told me, or if I was given a 1-all for now, that would have been I would have been fine with a 1-all coming out of that, purely because it's quite early on in the season. We aren't necessarily tipped to be a Scudetto winning team. That mounts more pressure on Napoli. It might give Juventus and Inter a bit more points to catch up on, but in this harsh stretch of games that we're going to be having, 1-all against Napoli to start it off with isn't all too bad. Now, I don't want to be that Arsenal fan that celebrates a 1-all, but I feel like Arsenal is after the phase six or whatever it might be. They should be expecting to win games and not be celebrating draws. So I would be happy with a 1-all, but my gut tells me that we might actually be able to win this.
No, I think that's all.
However, the record of Allegri against Conte does not look very good.
This is true, but they
Apparently,
actually haven't played in a very long time. I was surprised. I went to look back at that too. It just hasn't because, of course, they both moved
it
into
would have been
break and Conte went
pre-COVID,
abroad.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a very
when he
long
was at
time.
Inter.
The both very interesting managers. So that's going to be one of the major headlines. We saw already Conte start the usual Conte pre-big game tactics of coming up with interesting quotes. And obviously last year they weren't favorited because they finished eighth, but now they're not favored anyway because they're Champions League. And he said. We didn't have a big market. We spent a lot of money, but over a lot of players. So it's not that we bought big players. It's just we bought a lot of players. This is the usual Conte rhetoric of
Yeah, it is.
talking down, talking themselves down. Obviously, after this is Juventus. So it's the top three teams currently by the table playing. Do you think, yes or no, we walk out of these two games with 4 points or above?
Yes, 4 points and
Yes.
above. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so a win and a loss. I would honestly feel better against Juve. Not that we can't lose and lose badly against Juve, but Juve played, I think, pretty terrible football at times. Napoli is at the tough time and as a slug. I mean, Conte hasn't won a game in ending in 3-2, let alone against Pisa, in a very long time. So there's definitely some things that they're trying to work out. But they're more of a solid unit. Juve has a lot of talent, so they can definitely pull out the crazy games that they have. But I feel better against Tudor than I do against Conte. But yeah, this will tell us who we are. I'm very excited to see we come on with so much confidence. Yeah, I mean, I think the lineups are draw themselves up. There's no Buongiorno for them, and I think their only sort of question will be, I don't think Luca will start. I saw people asking about that. Unlikely.
Yeah.
The question is only really in goal, Meret or Milinkovic Savic. That seems the only thing. But then the rest is sort of set. I think there's a lot of interesting matchups. I think Hoyland has been playing well, and I think he is a good player. But he needs a certain level of competition and a certain level of game. If there is space, he's
Yeah.
gonna punish you, and I can see if we go down, for example, and need to attack a little bit more, he can be dangerous. But
And he turned us down.
this is true. Um,
So it would be
but
a bit
he's
of
been
karma
shut
if we
down by
win.
a lot of defenders. A lot of great defenders like Bremer has pocketed him a few times, but also just gritty man-to-man defenders like Gabbia is probably going to play on him. So obviously, can he score? Can he score three against us and demolish us? Of course, but I think that's an interesting matchup. Of course, the De Bruyne, Modric, even though obviously they're not going head to head on the pitch in terms of actually battling out, but the two
Yeah.
oldies that have come and graced us with their talent.
Imagine if 4 years ago somebody said De Bruyne, Scott McTominay, and Modric will be playing against each other in the Serie A.
Yeah, wild at that age. It is pretty Serie A move, but they've both been doing
It
well,
works. It works.
particularly Modric. I think
Yeah.
the McTominay versus Rabiot is very interesting. They play very similarly now,
True.
and they're both on fire. Even Politano has been killing it, and Salemakers sort of same position, and they've been
Yeah.
killing it. So there's a lot to go off there. They've maybe come with a little bit less momentum that we do. We did play. They played Monday. We played Tuesday. So I don't think that matters too much. And the Lecce game, wasn't a lot of expenditure. They did lose badly against Man City, but another early red card problem. Yes. How? Same for us. I think we will line up. I mean, I don't know if you disagree, but I think it'll be Mike, Tomori, Gabbia, Pavlovic, unless there's obviously
Yeah.
any injuries or last minute problems. Salemakers, I think it would still be Rabiot, Modric, and Fofana
Yeah.
with Estupinian, and then Santi and Pulisic, and then we'll have a stacked bench again, top heavy with the strikers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, why? I was looking at Twitter, and a lot of people are trying to fit in Nkunku, Santi, and Pulisic into like a. But why
That's such
change a winning
nonsense. Yeah.
method?
Also, I think
Like,
that's nonsense. The balance takes away all the balance, takes away how we play, how we attack. I think that's
yeah,
people that are maybe playing a little bit of FIFA. Is it possible that we'll
FIFA.
see
Yeah,
it during a game against a smaller team when we go down? You are, uh,
sure. Yeah, 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 yeah.
you're playing your
You're
your
pressing for 1-0, and it's the
yeah,
70th
you're
minute.
playing Pisa and there you haven't cracked the game or you're down one. Yeah, of course we will
Yeah,
see three strikers, but I think it will be super super unlikely to unless we somehow someone starts figuring us out at the moment. I think it's way more likely that we play with Loftus Cheek as a second striker than we put in a third real striker.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think we can do prediction. We didn't nail the Lecce one. We didn't get the three in a row. We
No,
got
but you
close.
got the three. You got close as well. Well, you got it bang on the score line, didn't you?
I think I said 4-0. So I think you said
I
three
thought you, oh, I
one,
thought you said.
and I said 4-0. So we
Oh,
were close.
okay, right, okay.
If you put
Yeah, I
us,
can't remember. Yeah,
sort of together. I got the clean sheet, and you got our goals. Um, let's do prediction, and then have a little trivia segment for you. What do you think? At home at San Siro, there have been before. While you think there has been some feelers out from the club about potentially bringing some elements of the curva back. Probably not a casual timing in the sense that okay, we have a big stretch of games, and this one at home, we probably wanted to
yeah,
start hearing San Siro a little bit more. It is officially sold out, 75,000. But yes, go ahead. Milan Napoli, what do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah, I saw that Mike Mignon posted a picture of the Curva Sud from last season and seasons prior, saying "Mi manca" or something like that, which means I miss you. But okay, yeah. Predictions. I am going to say it will be a 2-1 win for Milan.
2-1 win. Interesting,
Yes.
interesting. Scores?
Scores will be. It's going to be Pulisic and it's going to be Leao off the bench.
I like that a lot. Um, I honestly want to come in here and say either Napoli win or a draw. I also do think they come as favorite, and they should.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just so drunk on the Allegri hype. I'm just on the hype train. Um,
Made you started to make you feel alive.
yeah, we've also played Napoli well. Now it's so hard to say because we played Napoli well, like when Pioli was our manager and Spalletti was theirs, and then we had last season was last season you throw away, so none of it really matters.
Yeah.
Um, but I do believe in what Chiellini would call the history of football and the history of clubs, and I do think that uh, with the exception of maybe like a De Bruyne, they come and then they sense in San Siro, they sense a little bit of okay, this is a bigger club. Um, Shots fired, not shots fired, whatever. Um, Honestly, was about to say 3-0. I'll say 2-0 Milan.
2-0.
Yeah, I think it's a game that
Clean sheet again.
can get messy. I know, unlikely, but it also
No, no,
does
you do
have
you,
like
buddy.
0-0, 1-1 all over it, especially with the
It's
two
got zero
managers.
zero written all over it. Yeah.
To be honest, if I had to put money, I'd probably put it on 1-1. But I do think, if especially we've been starting games very well, and I could see us with a San Siro roaring, doing that, scoring one, then a
Hmm.
lot of time passes and it's sort of trench warfare, and we're solid and we don't, let a lot of shots in, let alone in the net. Um, and then, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Leao comes off the bench in a little bit of space, gets his goal back, and does a little surfer wave. Give me 2-0.
2-0.
Um,
Yeah, I mean they are missing Buongiorno, so
this is true.
that's quite big for them.
Yeah,
I mean Beukoma
absolutely.
has been playing well, but who do they have? They have what? Juan Jesus
Yeah, Juan
is the other
Jesus.
centre back.
Yeah, Juan Jesus will start. Yeah, you like your chances again.
Yeah,
With Conte defenses, it's always more about the system than necessarily the players. But yeah, you
true.
see Juan Jesus, and you're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Um, yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I'm just excited. Like we can definitely lose this game, but I haven't been excited about a big game. I mean, I've always been excited, but it's more almost scared.
You haven't
Um,
been any you haven't had any optimism
yeah,
whatsoever for the
yeah. This one
past
is all right.
almost 2 years.
We're in for a scrap. Um,
Well, we say that we beat Inter was it 3 times last season?
Yeah,
So
Inter we've dominated, but again, even those have been a lot of surprises. They're like, oh, we're winning another derby. What is this?
yeah,
Yeah, we will see. Then obviously we will have a full week rest, which is nice because Juve will play Villarreal. Juve is playing Atalanta, Villarreal lost, so we're hoping that by the time we get there, um, we will have the advantage. And very brief note, and then we move on. But Tudor mentioning, the calendar, the calendar is so tight. It's and we don't have the players. First of all, you definitely do have the players for to a week.
maybe don't splash out 50 million on Cook miners then.
Exactly. And second,
Yeah,
it's not like Atalanta saying this. Like it's Juve. Like you've had cups always. Like I mean, I'm sure there's here or there, but is this news to you? Like I don't understand that at all.
yeah.
Um, but yes, we'll see. We've been going for about 40 minutes. It's about to wrap up, but I want to start doing trivia segments because I love them. So
Oh, I'm
I
nervous
saw
now.
this one online. I think it's a gettable one, but also a little bit tricky. So I want you to name every single player that played for Milan that has won a Ballon d'Or. Asterisk, they do not have to have won the Ballon d'Or while playing with Milan.
At Milan. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will tell
Then
you the total
okay.
number. There is 12 of them. Uh,
12.
you
Okay.
can let it rip, and then if you're missing some, I can give you some hints.
Okay. Well, we start off with Modric.
Modric is correct. 13. This is
Kaká.
12 plus Modric, so 13
Yeah.
total.
Kaká.
Kaká,
Shevchenko.
Andriy Shevchenko, yes sir.
Roberto Baggio.
Roberto Baggio, very nice.
Gullit.
Gullit, good pull.
Van Basten.
Michael van Basten, of course, they go together.
This is where it starts drying up. It's probably gonna be. Is there gonna be one from like the 60s, like an Italian?
There is an older Italian. There's a couple older ones. There's a couple more recent
Ronaldo
ones.
Nazario.
Correct, Ronaldo Fenomeno, and this might make you think of another one.
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho,
Rivaldo.
Rivaldo, very nice. Okay, you got the Brazilians out the way. You're missing.
George Weah, of course.
Okay, I couldn't give you your nationality because I would have given away. Very nice pool. You're
Yeah.
almost there, honestly. You're missing two Italian ones. Hard, a little bit old, but gettable.
It's gonna be like
And a French.
Rivera.
Rivera, very nice. So one Italian and one
Uh,
French.
French.
Yes, this is a tough pool. I think you know it, like
Yeah,
you know it once
Platini
you
played
hear
for
it, but
Juve,
you have to go. You have to go back.
like really far. What's his name? Jean Papin.
Yes. Jean-Pierre
Yes, from
Papin,
Marseille.
very nice.
Yes.
With almost no hints. Last one, Italian. Pretty famous Italian. He's, I believe, no longer alive. He played.
Oh, Al. No.
No,
Okay, no,
no.
I actually
Very common
Vialli or
Italian
something.
name, both first and
Rossi.
last name. Yes, Paolo Rossi. And
Paolo
that's it.
Rossi.
That's all 12 plus 13 with Modric now. You did well. There were some, it's easy to forget. I think some in there. It,
Especially when you think about like the ones that have won it at Milan, for
you're
us
easy.
Milan fans, you're
Yeah.
obviously like the Hullits,
Yeah.
Van Basten, Kaká,
Yeah.
Shevchenko,
Even the Ronaldo,
etc. But like,
Ronaldinho, you're like, yeah, because they
yeah,
obviously, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I feel phenomenal. But like it's one of those trivial things. R9 never won the Champions League, right? And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you played for Inter, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, and
Yeah.
obviously Milan
It's almost like the
just
Juve
after.
curse where you just
Yeah,
seem to avoid it.
yeah, and even Rivaldo played for us for what, like two? Was it 2 seasons? Not even that. And while he was good, I mean, he didn't really make much noise. Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with the Rivaldo take, but I don't know.
really.
I mean, I
Okay,
wouldn't say he's
yeah,
on the levels of the others necessarily, but I think he was kind of a baller. But no, I mean, I
I
agree
mean,
in
I'm not
general.
saying
He's
he
not
was
like
bad,
Ronaldinho
but
level,
just not
but
like a.
yeah. No, okay,
Yeah,
fair. Okay, that's it. Big Lecce win going on in Coppa Italia. We'll find Lazio. Big Napoli predictions.
yeah.
Both win from
I'm
us,
excited.
and you heard it here. We're making
Sunday,
at
Sunday,
least
eight
4 points.
forty-five.
I
Sunday,
know.
8:45.
I know, primetime game. Oscar said 4 points at least from Juve and Napoli. So we'll see about that. And
And what do you think?
trivia done.
I
Yeah, I
always
mean,
forget to ask you this question back. I feel like.
I feel like it's most likely, like, again, if I had to bet money without thinking of with my Milan heart. Yeah, I mean, do we win one of the? I mean, we could also win one and lose one. So I would say most likely not. Like I could see us losing one and winning one, or both draws. More likely
Yeah.
than that. But I think 4 points or 6 points is not like it's within the realm of possibilities, and which I guess everything is. But it's pretty like 4 points, 60% no, 40% yes in my mind. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
close.
it's closer than you think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, I mean, if we do win both or make 4 points out of it, I think that's put in the league a notice of like, okay, yeah, we're here to battle it out, not only for Champions League spots, but for silverware, which would be lovely.
Mhm.
All right, that's it. We will speak
Perfect.
again after Napoli and before Juve midweek next week. It's been a pleasure as always, and
Pleasure as
Forza Milan.
always. Forza Milan.